This could be episode 136 for you guys today. Once my co-host Rob Sarasulo joins in, we'll go ahead and get today's episode started. What's up, Rob?
Hey. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I need to figure out a different situation with my phone because I sound like I got a damn lisp on here. I already know I do. Just watching the videos. It's whatever, though. I don't care.
All right, we go ahead and get started. All right. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree from Onthehop podcast. Today, this will be episode 136 for you guys today. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Rob Sarasulo. It'll just be the two of us on today's episode. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the first segment of episode 136. We'll be sharing our fantasy league results and sharing our fantasy league tips for next season. So I, Thomas Tyree, claim myself as the 2023/24 fantasy champion. You know, it feels good. You know, I was being fair last year, and I gave Jake his flowers too because of what happened with Lamar Hamlin. So we split it last year. So, but it feels good to have my own because Rob is the inaugural Onthehop fantasy champion. So now I can say me and Rob are tied now. I'm getting another. I'm going back to back next year. I'm just going.
Nah. I got screwed this year. That won't happen again next year. That will not happen again.
Yeah, we had some. It was a crazy year. I mean, we got. I think I am going to rearrange around some people that's in our league. I think we need the best competition moving forward. So some people will be rearranged out of our league. Anybody out there watching and listening that believe that they can hang with the big dogs in terms of fantasy and think you can hang with us for fantasy reasons, you go ahead and sign up for our league. But I went on to go 11-3 throughout the fantasy season. I thought it was a good idea to have the playoffs like we did last year. Elimination style with the higher seed, having a home advantage, was starting off with a 3-point advantage against the other team. But yeah, it was a great season for me. I think I finished on a 7-game win streak. Unfortunately, our guy Jordan Dalton wasn't here to set his lineup, and it was very unfortunate. So, here's Curtis. So let me let Curtis in.
Oh, bet.
What's up, Curtis?
How y'all doing, man?
Hello, Kurt.
Good.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah, Curtis. We're giving down our fantasy rundown of how it went. You know, I'm the champ, so you just got to give the people what they want to hear about our fantasy league this year. Curtis, I think you were competing all the way for, like, the final spot. You fell off in our fantasy league. What happened? Curtis,
Say that one more time.
Huh?
Say that one more time.
I said you fell.
One size shake, okay? Anything else?
Huh? What is he doing? Curtis.
This man is in the drive-thru.
Oh, he's in a drive-thru. All right. Well, he's gonna take care of his business. Rob, what are your thoughts on how the fantasy league went? I know you had a rough year this year.
Man, I had all types of things happening to me this year. I mean, It started off with Joe Burrow being hurt for the first 5 weeks. I mean, he was either injured or when he was playing, he was putting up like stinkers, like 8 points, 6 points, you know, like single digit totals. If he got over 10, it wasn't by much. There's, the number one thing that happened. And because of that happening, I had T. Higgins, and he had a very bad year.
Oh
He
yeah.
didn't do anything for me. Um, you know, I don't even remember who my number one receiver was. It's that bad. Jalen Waddle, and I don't think he even had a great year, honestly, at least for the first like 8 weeks or whatever. He had a couple of good, decent games, but nothing like I
Yeah.
was used to. In the past, he's been able to perform even with Tyreek, so I figured he could at least put up wide receiver 2 like numbers, even though he was my best receiver, which is I'll get to what I want to do differently next year in a minute on that note. But I kind of prioritized running back as my first pick, and I don't think I'll do that next year. But I got Austin Eckler as my first overall pick. He was garbage. That whole team was garbage. He was hurt for half the season. I had Brees Hall, who was on a trash team. He had some good games, but not many of them. Not like he should have had.
Mm.
I had Terry McLaurin, who Sam Howell did not like to throw the ball for some reason. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to throw it to Terry McLaurin, but that's just me. I just didn't have much. I mean, I traded Laporta. I got Laporta off of you, which was a good investment.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost Tank Dell, which hurt for a little bit, but he ended up getting hurt anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't much more to be said. I mean, my team just had they just didn't show up. They just kept taking PTO. Like, it'd be like at least 2 different people taking PTO every week. And it kind of, it was rough. It was rough to say the least. But next year, I think, I'm definitely not prioritizing running back nearly as much as I did in the past. We've seen them become more and more irrelevant in PPR, especially.
Yeah.
You have your few good backs that obviously will get you some points, but you can definitely find like a diamond in the rough like later in the draft with somebody less known. I think there's a couple running backs I have in mind that I will be prioritizing, but Eckler is definitely not one of them. He's getting old, and that offense is kind of on the downhill right now.
Yeah.
But definitely going to take bona fide number one receiver with my first pick next year. And I'm going to probably take – I took a quarterback not early, but, I took Joe Burrow. But, I'm going to prioritize that a little more too because we've seen, what Lamar Jackson is capable of doing in fantasy.
Yeah.
We've seen what Dak did in fantasy. We see what Josh Allen did in fantasy. Easy 25. But,
Yeah.
it doesn't always pan out that way because look at Pat Mahomes. You could see it coming with him just because, his wide receiver core was shaky, to say the least.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, rough year, and strategy is definitely changing. Because before it was like you could get a receiver later in the draft and be fine. But now it's like you got to get a number one receiver. You have to.
Yeah. I wanted to see how, if I could go back and see, let's see, draft recap. Based off of what you said, let me see. When did Patrick Mahomes? Because I know Jake got him. Yeah, see, Jake
Patrick
doomed
Mahomes
himself.
But
Yeah, I was going to say Jake doomed himself because he picked Patrick Mahomes in round 3. I'll save that for my tips when we talk about that. But Curtis, did you want to speak about your team, how your fantasy team did? Curtis? Just
Can you hear me?
okay. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
now we can hear you.
Okay. So my fantasy team went like 7-7. So I lost a lot more games than I should have. But mind you, I had a lot of players getting hurt like constantly, and JT was a big key that I picked up. Who really I was expecting to be the backbone on my team, but he kept getting hurt and wouldn't play. So now I had to pick up, I think a Broncos running back, Pierre or something like that.
Oh yeah, their backup. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to pick up him. He wasn't really cooking for me. I had, who else did I have? I had Jalen Warren, who would show up sometimes, but not really. And then he would just have like 30 yards with nothing else. So it was like, I need to definitely next year when we start to draft, I got to look at players' history for sure and see who are some, like, diamond in the roughs that I can keep on my team to be basically the backbone. I could be like, oh, this guy could go off at any week and give me at least 20 to 25 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's next year you'll see me come back and I'll be definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your team, Kurt. You drafted, which there's nothing wrong with it. Jamar Chase is supposed to have a way better year than what he did. And then to Rob's point, he picked right before me. I was about to pick Austin Eckler if I had that pick. So luckily, the draw that we had, Rob picked before me, or I would have got him. But yeah, my team, it was Curtis. I don't know if you know this or not, but Rob knows. With my pick, I didn't even get to do my first pick because it auto picked Travis Kelce for me, or I would have had Tyreek Hill. Yeah, and Fred picked right after me. He scooped up Tyreek Hill. I was so mad. I mean, it worked out, but I would not, anybody out there watching, listen, I would never recommend getting a tight end. I don't care who they are in the first round. Don't ever do
okay. Quick question. Well, not a question, but a statement. You realize, Tom, you would have lost this whole league like Fred would have won if Fred had put his lineup in. He said he went to sleep, he didn't set up his lineup, and he would have won. But he didn't set it up, so kind of got cooked. Like, we went at, he had his bench players, he had his starters on the bench, and all of them scored what they were supposed to, and he was projected to win both games in the playoffs, and he would have beat you both. But sadly, Fred is not here. He's under the weather.
Man, I would have cooked Fred's team. Fred, when we played the first time, he only beat me by a little bit. Let's see.
He would have had, like, I'm pretty sure this year he would have had, like, 120 or something like that for his last game. What do you have?
I would have cooked all of y'all if I was in the playoffs. Did you see what my team was doing on the consolation bracket? Tom, look at what my team scored in the consolation.
Fred missed he could have. Well, you see, Fred would have probably played me in the championship the way I was playing out because Fred was on the other side of the bracket, so he probably would have got past Bernie Mitchell.
Yeah.
And then he would have had to play JD. So I probably would have played him in the championship, but let's see, the constant. Rob was funny.
Look, my team
I did see. I was
crazy.
No, I was paying attention. I
had like 170 or 160 one week or something like that.
When you played Jake in the second round, you had 100. You had scored up 160.1 points.
My team,
Dang, Brees Hall had you 43 points that week.
Yeah.
T. Higgins 25.
That's what my team was supposed to do.
DeAndre Swift 15. Yeah. You had a good team, Rob. They were just so inconsistent.
Yes.
And then I got lucky also because you picked before me in the 5th round. I was about to draft Joe Burrow. You got him, and then I just got Herbert after that. But yeah,
it was between him, bro. It was between him and Justin Fields. I should have got Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hurt though half the year too. So
that is true.
They were playing Tyson Bagent for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, fantasy, it was really crazy. But yeah, when I had to get Travis Kelce, normally I get a running back very early, but it screwed me up because everybody was taking running backs, and I had no choice but to get Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was always gonna be my second round pick this year. He'll probably be a first-round pick next year in all leagues.
Yes.
And Devontae Smith was next. I didn't get a running back till like the 4th round, and I ended up getting Dameon Pierce, who was terrible all year long.
Yeah. He
And
didn't do
look,
anything.
the dime in the rough I found this year was James Cook, and I'll get to the other one when we talk about the tips that we have. But yeah, it was a crazy year. I think we should do the same formula again. Of course, play for money. You know, I'm gonna post the little pictures. You know what I'm saying, when the belt come, it ain't in the mail yet. But yeah, it was nice playing with y'all. But you know, the champ is here. The champ is here to stay
Yeah,
for next year.
okay.
You go.
Nah, I'm coming for that next year. I mean, I have a whole different strategy. I know what to expect now. I know what I said about quarterback, but I was just thinking about it. I was in the championship for my work league. Guess who my championship quarterback was?
Who was that?
Take a wild guess.
Hold on. Who played last week? Probably somebody like. Oh, I was gonna say Tommy DeVito, but he didn't play last week.
No.
Don't say somebody like Aiden O'Connell or something.
Hell no.
Who
Jake
else?
Browning.
The Bengals quarterback?
Oh my
Jake Browning.
God.
Yeah. Bro, I was running because I drafted Trevor Lawrence in that league, and he was very inconsistent himself. And I had Russell Wilson for a little while on my bench, and I picked up Sam Howell. So I was basically, and then I think I dropped Russell Wilson at one point. I don't know why. He was doing pretty good, but I dropped him because Sam Howell was like top 10 fantasy. So I used him a little bit, but he had his stinkers too. So I mean, and then I found Jake Browning, who went stupid for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And he had like 23 points in the championship. He did good. You know, the problem was in that game was my opponent had CeeDee Lamb and Lamar Jackson, who nearly had like 80 points almost combined. So
Damn.
I only lost by like 12. But, you know, I was in two championships this year. I lost both of them. So,
Dang.
yeah.
You gotta get back next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, what tips do you guys have for anybody watching and listening about fantasy football? What are your tips for next season?
Don't put money on fantasy football. These players out here get hurt too much, and you'll be sad when you lose your money.
Yo,
don't listen to that. You put your money if you're good enough in fantasy, you'll put your money where your mouth is. You'll figure out a strategy that works for you. You'll get creative on the waiver wire. You know, next year, especially in PPR, receivers are more important than ever. You know, if you have a stud wide receiver one, you know, like top 5, top 10, you know, that's going to carry your team the whole year. I mean, they're getting you at least 19 points. Running backs used to do that, but I feel like even the top running backs besides, you know, Christian McCaffrey is basically an outlier, I think. And for a while, Kamara was up there too with the way they ran their offense. But besides like a couple of people, them two, and, you know, Jahmyr Gibbs, when they wanted to use Jahmyr Gibbs the right way, you know, there's a couple other ones that I'm definitely missing. But they're not nearly as important as they once were. I mean, running backs used to be like the cream of the crop, but now I'd say receiver is more important than ever. My advice, especially unless you have a chance to take McCaffrey, I would take a receiver first in your draft. Without a shadow. I might go 2 receivers first 2 picks next year. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. You know, I don't care about getting a running back in the 3rd round. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find one that'll do just fine for me because they get hurt more often, in my opinion.
That's true.
Also, I mean, I've said this the last couple of years. I mean, obviously, use the waiver wire. You know, do your research. You know, see who's hurt, obviously. see, handcuffs are also important. If you see a good player that's not necessarily getting the shine, Devon A-Chain is a good example. You know, I knew he was a good player. I mean, I don't even think anyone drafted him though, but I ended up picking him up. I don't know if it was in our league, but in multiple leagues, I was able to get him either late in the draft or on the waivers. But there's diamonds out there every year. I mean, Kyron Williams for you, Tom, he was
Yeah.
probably one of the best waiver pickups this year. He was a top 5 back. There's just crazy pickups on the waiver every year, every single year. There has not been a single season, I don't think, where there wasn't a top 10 player at whatever position on the waivers.
That's true.
There's definitely. I mean, I don't remember the last time where that wasn't the case. So
Yeah.
as long as you utilize that, then you'll be good. That's my advice.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of things you said. I think for myself too, next year, drafting a wide receiver is going to be a priority for the first and second round because I got by luckily with the running back group that really wasn't that strong at the beginning of the season. Damian Pierce wasn't getting anything. James Cook took a while to develop. Javonte Williams I had. Kyron Williams really saved me off the waiver wire. But, yeah, wide receivers, there's going to be so many good wide receivers next year in the NFL once certain quarterbacks get healthy. Guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, they're all going to be at the top of everybody's draft boards for next year's fantasy league. Running backs are starting to fall off in fantasy, though, because they're so valuable in the PPR leagues because you get points for them running the ball, points for them receiving the ball. It's like a lot of teams now have a running back committee in the NFL. And if you're not Christian McCaffrey, like you said, Rob, I don't think any running back really has value in the first round heading into next year. Maybe Bijan Robinson if Arthur Smith's not there, but I can't see him being a first round value. But yeah. And then my advice to a lot of people, I know a lot of people did this around PPR leagues. Be patient for a quarterback. They're becoming very valuable, but you can get by getting a quarterback in the 5th or 6th round. Don't go and blow a 3rd round pick on a Patrick Mahomes that had no weapons. Don't blow it on Jalen Hurts, which I do believe his value is going to go down if the tush-push play goes away next year in the NFL. That's where half of his touchdowns came, getting 1-yard touchdown runs. Lamar Jackson is a good player, but if you can stock up your team off of other skill positions, I would wait on him. But, yeah, Rob, waiver wire is everybody's best friend because I got Brock Purdy off the waiver wire. I got Kyron Williams off the waiver wire. 9 times out of 10, the team that you draft on draft day, you're not going to finish with that whole entire roster. I'd be surprised if anybody did. You're only going to really finish with the marquee names on your roster that you draft on draft night for all fantasy leagues. So waiver wire is always important to pay attention to, like Rob said. And also, I would say defenses really, I see people draft defenses really quickly also. I waited a long time, and I ended up getting the Dolphins defense this year, which they were decent, but I think it's key to also be patient for a defense as well. But, yeah, those are my tips for fantasy league players out there for next year.
Yeah, I mean, the defenses are usually, like, the ones that are the best the previous year usually aren't the best, obviously, the next year. I mean, I know the Cowboys defense, they were pretty good last year, and they're really good this year. But I got the Browns defense in a couple of leagues, and no one thought that they were going to be the top defense.
Yeah.
But they were really good for me. Believe it or not, the Colts defense some weeks was pretty good for me. Although in the championship, they were what caused me to lose. They had -3 points. Yeah, I mean, I don't really ever draft the defense. I mean, I do, but like the last pick, or the second last pick. So,
I know a lot of people out there that probably drafted the Eagles defense from how good they were a year ago in the defense they are now. I know a lot of people out there who drafted them were very upset with themselves.
Not me.
I'm glad I didn't. They were sitting there, though, when I picked the Dolphins, but I said, go with Miami. Luckily, that was good. That was a good selection. But we're gonna go ahead and move to the next segment. Should Lamar Jackson win the MVP award this NFL season? He's the odds-on favorite. Do you guys think he's a lock to win the award this year?
Yeah. I mean, Kurt, you can speak on it if you want. Go ahead. You look excited. I can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Okay. All these people on television keep doubting this man Lamar day in and day out. This man steps up to the plate every single time and performs, but somehow, some way, they still won't give this man credit. So he comes out and he proceeds to be what she called quarterbacky. We didn't forget that. We heard about that. He came and he went out there and he threw and threw and threw. Tore the damn Dolphins' ass apart. You see what I'm saying?
This is true.
And it's like some people still, till now, will not give him credit. They'll be like, oh, well, I still don't think he needs to be MVP. What MVP is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Performer like Lamar is right now. You said Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy just had a matchup with him. What happened?
This is true.
Okay. I'm just saying. And then they talk about Dak Prescott, but we ain't gonna talk about him. We don't need to.
Whoa.
That man's out.
Hey, wait, hold on. Time out. Dak. What really lost it for Dak was that game. He had one bad game. That was against the Bills. The whole entire team was off, but he really couldn't do much in that game because like the offensive line just took a day off. And he was getting depleted at the line of scrimmage.
And
but that
is that, brother?
That's our fault. But what I'm saying is, if that game didn't happen, it would have been Dak's award. But credit to Lamar. I'm gonna get to that in a second about what I believe. But yes, that you do have a point. But go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to see he's going to win MVP. I mean, if he doesn't, I'll be very surprised. I've been saying this, after Brock Purdy's 4-interception game, that pretty much put him out of the running for me. You got to be able to beat the best of the best. And if you're playing like that against the best of the best, I understand it could be a fluke game. Things happen. But 4 picks, that's 4 mistakes. It's a lot. But, Dak, I don't know, because, the Cowboys have only really beat one good team.
Oh, we just beat the Lions. We just beat the Lions.
I don't know if you really beat them. I don't think all that.
Yeah, you didn't beat them. So
all right. Time out. Okay, let me say why we beat the Lions. Okay, and now I will tell the truth. The refs, they did get it wrong, but to the defense of the Cowboys and to the stupidity of the Lions, why would you have 3 offensive linemen come up to one ref saying one offensive lineman is eligible? You don't think in Jerry's world with 20-something seconds to go on a huge 2-point conversion call that could decide the game, the referee forgot who was eligible. So afterwards, you would think when they got the call wrong, the Lions would just go ahead and kick the 1 point and go into overtime, and we see who wins that game. But no, they decided to go for 2, not once, but twice. And 2 unsuccessful attempts for the Lions cost them a spot at the 2nd seed in the NFC East. So the rest got it wrong, but the Lions should have used their brain cells and just went for the extra point to force the game to overtime.
I'm just saying, the dude who supposedly came over to say something, number 70, he didn't really say anything to the refs. He just kind of walked past them.
Well, that's what all players, when you're supposed to say who, especially the player that's reporting as eligible, you need to go up to the referee and say, I'm reporting as eligible. But that's for anybody line up at the line of scrimmage.
I don't know. I mean, I agree he should not have went for 2-3 times. I mean, that's Dan Campbell for you. He's a very aggressive coach. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure they were locked into the 3rd seed regardless, so it didn't matter if they lost that game.
Well, At the time they were, but nobody knew the Eagles were going to lose to the Cardinals. That's why I think that's NFL coaches got to take that in consideration, because even though somebody's playing somebody easy, you got to, okay, let's do our part and we'll take it from there. Because realistically, if they beat us in overtime and the downfall happened to the Cardinals, they would have the second seed right about now. And they probably wouldn't have. I mean, they're going to rest their players this weekend, but I'll still take the second seed over the third seed. But
Yeah.
I'm just glad that it happened like that. You know, all the Cowboys got to do is just go to the Commanders and win that game to get the second seed. But if they can't do that, they don't just take us out now.
Don't blow it.
Bro, if they blow that game, I'm not even watching the Cowboys in the playoffs.
You're lying.
No, I wouldn't.
Right?
No, you can't blow that game. Bro, if you go, you're playing. This is a late Christmas gift. You're playing Sam Howell in DC. All you gotta do is win to get the second seed. If you lose, you get the fifth seed. So, you can't lose that game. I could get,
But you most likely will.
I remember someone earlier in the season. I don't know who the hell it was. They were in this damn chat blowing it up over Sam Howell. I don't hear nothing about no Sam Howell now. He got benched. He got put back in. You know, how you get benched for Jacoby Brissett? Like,
Oh gosh.
no, I knew what he was. You know, yes, he had a lot of passing yards, but he also threw the ball 50 times a game. So that's pretty easy to do when you throw the ball 50 damn times a game. And he had a lot of mistakes. I mean, yes, he's a fifth-round rookie. Yes, he did do better than expected, but I don't think he's the answer. Hell no. He's definitely not the answer. They need to get a new quarterback. He can maybe be their backup.
Well, they about to get a new quarterback. They're gonna have a top 3 pick.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I hope they do some dumb shit. I really do.
Hold on, before I say something about Lamar Jackson, that's actually got me curious. NFL.
I could see them signing a quarterback and then drafting like the best player available.
So
I don't think they'll draft Marvin Harrison though, because they already have receivers. They have Terry and Jahan Dotson.
Oh, this is somebody's mock draft. I should have just said draft order, because I was about to say, how do the Giants have the first overall pick? Okay, so updated draft order would be the Commanders have I think
they have the third pick.
Oh, yeah, the second pick.
Damn, never mind.
I'll save my opinion on that for a segment we'll do, whether Caleb Williams should be going to the Bears or not. But, yeah, they would have the second pick, so likely they would probably get a quarterback with that pick. But back to Lamar Jackson. Do I believe he should win MVP? I do. I do. Yeah, he's closed the door on winning his second MVP award. I think he's done enough at this point to win the award, like you guys were saying. He's got 24 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year with a quarterback rating of 63.3. With now, Curtis, I'm saying the rushing yards because last week I didn't. He has 821 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. To me, that's MVP numbers. And it is impressive blowout victories against the Lions, the Seahawks, the Browns earlier in the season, the Jaguars, the 49ers and Dolphins. I can't name another quarterback in the National Football League that's knocked off some top-tier teams in dominating fashion the way Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens did this year. I really think his 5-game passing his game against the Dolphins where he had 5 passing touchdowns last year really sealed the deal for him winning his second MVP. And he's not going to pile up any more stats because they announced they're going to rest him against the Steelers this week. So, yeah, there's no way that he's not going to win his second MVP award. So I will give you credit, Curtis. He deserves it. He deserves it. He sealed the deal for me after that passing touchdown performance he got against the Dolphins. So, yeah, I think he's going to win it now.
Hey, man, we got a Jackson 5, man. I'm just saying.
Now, Curtis, will the 2019 repeat happen again, or will the Ravens do something with the number 1 seed?
We're more locked in this time than we were last time. 100%. So you can just tell by the atmosphere of the locker room and whatnot. Bro, this team is definitely locked in. You can say that we're going to take this break and we're going to come back soft, but I don't think so. I think this supposed break that we're going to have, we're going to be in training on the field doing what we got to do.
I agree.
I don't think we're just going to be resting, really. I think we're going to be grinding that whole time that we're supposedly resting.
I mean, yeah. I think this team is better than that 2019 team, personally. I think the defense is a lot better, especially. You might even get Mark Andrews back in the AFC Championship. So if you do, then Lord, y'all definitely could run with the Super Bowl this year. But, like you said, they got to stay locked in. They can't get complacent with this 3-week break they're about to have.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm ready for the playoffs, though. But we're going to go ahead and mention our partnership with Sharp Sports Betting. Sharps is a sports betting network best used for sports bettors around the world today. Sharps allows you to link your sports books, including DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and ESPN bets. Sharps also tracks your win-loss record, and you can currently see what your friends are currently betting. Sharps also offers free transparency. You can download Sharps today on all Apple devices and Android devices. Go ahead and download Sharps today and use promo code TOM as a THOM661. That would help us out a lot. Go ahead and play Sharps today. But with that being said, we're going to share our best sports bets of the week. What is your guys' best sports bets of the week in the world of sports?
I don't have a parlay put together yet, just because the player props are not out yet for the NFL. There's a lot of people, getting benched to rest, as so some of the people that we haven't seen before might be, getting some shine, and you might get some good odds on that. So that's just something to keep in mind. So, perhaps, like people on the Chiefs, for example, or people on the Browns, people on the Lions, people on the Ravens, whoever. I mean, there are certain people also, with that being said, that have bonuses to hit. Tyreek is a good example because I think he needs 5 catches to hit his bonus. So, betting his receptions would be smart. I think OBJ has a bonus if he gets another touchdown. I don't know if he'll play or not, but if he does, he would be a smart touchdown pick. But yeah, pretty much look for people that you wouldn't normally see, check their odds, and if they're good and you like the matchup, then take it. Because, certain teams, like you could have diamonds in the rough, people who you haven't seen before with good odds that could have a really good game. So just take the scheme in mind, the scheme of the team, and bet accordingly. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go. I got like a little 3-leg. I got the Milwaukee Bucks -3 point spread to the Pacers, and I got OKC versus Atlanta -1.5 the point spread, and then the Bulls versus the Knicks. The Knicks -9.5 point spread. And if you was to bet $10, you get $68.99. It's a plus 590.
Okay.
FanDuel.
Curtis, I'm not going to lie. We have the same basketball picks for tonight. Not that minus the Bulls one, but I did the same Buck spread and the same OKC spread. So Curtis said I dead serious had that on the notes for that to say, but I have those two. And then I have the Clippers to cover the 4-point spread against the Suns tonight. If you bet that on FanDuel, $20 wins you $124. And then the next bets, I have two for this week. Like Rob said, this one was kind of rough because I normally do NFL bets since we're in the peak of the NFL season. But like week 18 is hard. But there's this the money line I have for week 18. So I have the following teams winning this weekend. I said Steelers money line against the Ravens because the Ravens have nothing to play for. They're benching Lamar Jackson. I'm pretty sure a lot of starters will be benched. The Steelers they're still trying to find a way to get into the playoffs. A win would help them, but they would still need a lot of help. So I have those Steelers winning that game. I have the Texans money line against the Colts. That could potentially decide the AFC South, depending on what the Jaguars do. So I think the Texans will do their job against the Colts. I got the Saints money line against the Falcons. They're in the driver's seat to win the NFC South now. I got them winning that game. I have the Bucks money line against the Carolina Panthers. Their owner just decides to throw beers at fans when he gets pissed off. So I got the Bucks winning that game. I got an upset. I got the Bears. Well, this is an upset for money lines. I got the Bears knocking off the Green Bay Packers this weekend, spoiling their playoff hopes. I got the Cowboys money line against the Commanders to win the NFC East. And I got the Jaguars money line against the Tennessee Titans. That's 5-11. And will not have Will Levis to close out the season. So on that money line, $10 wins you $386.25 off a $10 bet.
Bam.
And then I made a player prop one. This is one I came up off the top of my head because I don't know who's playing or not. But if these are available, I would take it. If these players play, I would take it. Dak Prescott have 250 passing yards plus against the Commanders. He already lit them up like a Christmas tree on Thanksgiving. I think he's going to do it again. Kenneth Walker, running back for the Seattle Seahawks, I would bet him having 60-plus yards rushing. The Cardinals have already allowed a total of 485 rushing yards in their last 3 games. Justin Jefferson, I would definitely bet him having over 100 yards against the Detroit Lions. They're going to be resting a lot of starters. I think Nick Mullins is going to start for them. They're still in the hunt, but they need some help to get in. And CeeDee Lamb just lit up the Detroit Lions last week. He had over 10 catches and had 227 yards receiving. So I like the Justin Jefferson bet a lot because I do believe he's going to play this weekend. But yeah, what'd you say, Kurt?
Nothing. Sounds nice. I like it personally.
Yeah, I don't have a dollar amount on that because I just said if all of those players play, it would be interesting to see what the payout would be if I threw down $5 on that. But yeah, that's our sports bets for the week. Before we move on to the next segment or the final segment, I would just like to take the time out to mention our new partnership with Raise Energy. You guys go ahead and raise your energy today, starting by drinking Raise energy drinks. Raise is an incredible energy drink that has 300 milligrams of caffeine to help conquer your daily activities. Use promo code HOP08 on all Raise purchases. You guys could do that if you guys pick up Raise purchases anywhere, online, at convenience stores, wherever you guys find your energy drinks. That will help us out a lot. A promo code HOP08. And I'll put that in the chat as well. But we're going to move on to the final segment. We're going to be sharing our Week 18 Sunday night football matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. So all the marbles are on the line here. The winner will win the AFC East Division. Who do you guys have winning the Sunday night matchup?
I got the Bills easy. I think they win, not in dramatic fashion, but I think they win pretty easily. In my opinion, I think they win by at least 10. The Bills are starting to come alive as of late. I don't think Josh Allen's going to fold in this opportunity. Yes, he's had his ups and downs this year, but I think he's clearly the better quarterback in that matchup. And the Dolphins just got absolutely cooked last week. Their morale is down. Some might say that they have a bounce back week, but I don't think so. I truly don't think so. I don't think Miami is ready yet. I don't think it's their year. I think they need another year before they're truly a Super Bowl contender. They need to shore up that defense a little bit. I think that, James Cook is going to have a big game. Josh Allen's going to have at least 300 yards in the air. Diggs should have a good game. They're going to be clicking on offense in Buffalo. It's in Buffalo or in Miami?
It's in Miami this time.
Oh, okay. That makes it a little different. But, no, I still got the Bills winning by at least 10. I don't think the Dolphins are ready, like I said. And their morale is pretty beat up right now, especially after losing like they did last week.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Bills just off the fact that, I'm pretty sure they lost Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
They don't have Jalen Waddle, and Raheem Mostert is not there. So he's hurt. He's hurt too, right?
He's questionable to play, but yeah, he didn't play in that Baltimore game on Sunday.
Okay. So basically, I'm pretty sure Buffalo's on a winning streak right now, right? They didn't lose last week.
They won.
Yeah. So what does that make it? 4-game winning streak for them. So their momentum's kind of going. The Dolphins already have a playoff spot. So it's just they're playing for, that title of the, the champions of the whatever. So, yeah, I don't see them coming back. Unless they do what, those 5 catches that Tyreek Hill needs, it's going to be all bombs to the end zone somehow, some way. I'm just saying. If that was to happen, that'd be crazy. But the Dolphins have momentum right now. So, the Dolphins don't have momentum right now. The Bills have the most momentum. So I'm taking Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm going with the Bills to win this game. Like you guys touched up on, like Curtis just touched up on, they're hot as a forest fire. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They went undefeated in the month of December, picking up some marquee victories on the road in Kansas City against the Kansas City Chiefs. Then they dominated the Dallas Cowboys. And they already blew out the Dolphins this year, winning that game 48-20 early on in the season. I honestly feel like that 56-19 loss that they just received at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens exposed them. Like Rob said, I don't think they're ready to take the next step yet. I think maybe next year they'll take the next step in the AFC. Bradley Chubb is out for the remainder of the season due to a torn ACL injury that he suffered in the loss. So that's a big loss to them. But I trust the Bills in a must-win situation to win the AFC East. And they really have to win to get in. The Bills, if they win, obviously they get in, they win the AFC East. But if they lose this game, if the Jaguars win against the Titans on Sunday and the Steelers win against the Ravens team that's resting starters, if those two teams win and the Bills lose, they would be mathematically out of the playoffs, missing it at 10-7. So they got to do their job to basically win this game because the Jaguars and the Steelers got 2 easy games. So I do believe that the Bills will win this game on Sunday, but Dolphins kind of need to play in desperation mode because the way how things are playing out, if the Dolphins win against the Bills, they would get the 2nd seed, which I think they play much better at home than on the road. So I would take that in consideration if I was Mike McDaniels and company. But if the Dolphins lose, they would have to go. They would be bumped down to the 6th seed, and they would have to play the Chiefs in the first round in Arrowhead. So if I'm the Dolphins this week, I'd be playing in desperation mode. But I think the Bills, Josh Allen and company are just gonna be too much for them this weekend. I wonder who actually that would put the. Let me see that. Who would be the? So, how'd that work? Actually, the Bills actually have a chance to get the 2nd seed because the Chiefs are resting players this week too. If they win, they'd be 10-7. The Chiefs lose, they'd be 10-7. The Bills will have a chance to win and go all the way up to the 2nd seed, depending on what happens next. So that'd be pretty interesting to see in the AFC. But yeah, that's our game predictions, and that is all the time we have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, Rob Sarasulo, and Curtis Green signing off. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys on next week's episode.
All right, y'all.
Peace out.